Did you know that Japan once defeated Russia? Welcome to this video on one of the most intriguing yet lesser-known conflicts of the 20th century, the Russo-Japanese War. Fought between the rising power of Japan and the once mighty Russian Empire, this war marked a significant turning point in world history. With battles on land and sea, heroes and villains on both sides, and global repercussions that are still felt today, the story of the Russo-Japanese War is a fascinating tale of warfare, diplomacy, and cultural clash. So join us as we explore this gripping conflict and discover how it shaped the modern world. In the year 1904 to 1905, Russo and Japanese War pitted Japan against Russia, and it had far-reaching repercussions for both nations as well as the entire world. It was the first time in modern history that an Asian nation had defeated a European one, and Japan's triumph in this conflict had a significant effect on the balance of power in East Asia. The roots of Russo-Japanese can be traced back to the late 19th century, when Japan and Russia began to compete for influence in East Asia. Japan aspired to increase its territory and influence in the region in the late 19th century after rapidly modernizing and industrializing. On the other side, Russia had a long-standing interest in the region and saw itself as a guardian of both Russian interests there and Orthodox Christianity. Tensions between Japan and Russia came to a head in 1904, when Japan launched a surprise attack on the Russian fleet at Port Arthur, a naval base on the Liaodong Peninsula in northern China. The attack is part of Japan's broader strategy to assert control over Korea and Manchuria, which Russia also interests in. The initial attack on Port Arthur was successful, and the Japanese fleet soon gained control of the seas and the Korean peninsula. However, the land campaign in Manchuria proved to be more difficult, as the Russian army put up stiff resistance. The two sides engaged in a series of battles over the course of several months, with both suffering heavy losses. Despite the setbacks on the ground, Japan's naval superiority allowed it to maintain the upper hand in the conflict. In May 1905, the Japanese fleet scored a decisive victory over the Russian Navy in the Battle of Tsushima, effectively ending the war. Russia was forced to cede its interests in Korea and Manchuria to Japan, and it also had to pay a significant indemnity to Japan. The Russo and Japanese War had a significant impact on both nations and in the global community. The war was a pivotal point in Japan's development into a major world power and contributed to the country's establishment as the undisputed leader in East Asia. The war was a humiliating defeat for Russia, revealing the inadequacies of its military and undermining its position as a major power. Additionally, the war had broader effects on international affairs. It was the first time in modern history that an Asian force had defeated a European power, and it marked the emergence of Asian nationalism in the area and the end of European empire. The war altered the balance of power in Europe by forcing European nations to reassess their interactions with one another and with the burgeoning Eastern states.